Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. And if you do find any of the information in this video valuable, useful, or interesting in any sort of way possible, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to never miss a future update. But with that being said, let's just dive in. Let's talk about a few things. So first off, I'm not going to talk to you guys a little bit about Bitcoin or anything like that before we do get into this video. If you guys do want to check that out, you guys are more than welcome to go check out my XRP video. But I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about Hbar because I found some very incredible information, sort of connecting the dots from my video from yesterday. If you guys don't remember my video from yesterday, basically I was talking to you guys a little bit about iobuilders. We're actually going to be talking about them, more so kind of, talking about why iobuilders is working with Hedera and the bigger picture behind, Hbar in general. So, with that being said, let's kind of move on. Let's talk about things. I don't want to waste too much time at all. So first off, Hedera, they are ramping up their social marketing. We do see here, proof of work is powerful enough to enable Bitcoin transactions to be processed in a decentralized, secure, peer-to-peer manner. A consensus mechanism eliminates the need for a central authority. Proof of work relies on sheer computational power to accomplish this. Now, proof of work has massive amounts of flaws. We've talked about them in the past, and we've talked about, why proof of work just kind of doesn't work, if you will. And it's kind of crazy that people don't really see this. I mean, they think that proof of work is, the biggest thing, ever in crypto. But the problem is that proof of work just doesn't work. Okay. From Hedera's side of things, I like the fact that they are breaking this down. I like the fact that they are also, talking about the problems here. Like, for example, need for more mining power. Of course, this is a major issue in terms of energy consumption, especially when we are talking about sustainability and things like that. Security issues, fairness questions, and room for improvement. This is exactly why we talk about a lot of forks happening in, of course, crypto. Like, for example, we have Bitcoin Cash and things like that. But when we are talking about hash graph technology, and we're talking more so about, DLTs and things like that. A lot of the things that we look at on a day-to-day basis, for example, XRP, right? XRP has its own consensus mechanism, same with even Hedera. Those assets that are doing things bigger than proof of work are going to, I would say, be the next. I don't want to say it's going to be the next big thing, but technically they are. When we are talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think that their days are nearly numbered in a sense on, they're going to reach that point where they won't be able to scale more. They're going to reach that point, or I should say the breaking point. That's exactly why I do invest into Hedera and other, assets. Of course, do I hold some Ethereum? Yeah. Do I hold Bitcoin? No, I don't. But the reason here is the idea on, seeing what is going to be the next technological advance for, of course, crypto. That's why I do look at hashgraph technology, or I should say hashgraph consensus, if you will. This is exactly why I'm investing into Hbar, because we see them proving the fact that proof of work doesn't work, and they have made those, of course, improvements, if you will. I'm not saying that, Hbar is going to kill Bitcoin and Ethereum and skyrocket to #1 overnight. No, I'm not saying that, and I'm not going to tell you guys, that it's going to be that picture exactly, but I'm just going to say this right now. If Bitcoin and Ethereum want to remain, #1 and #2, if you will, or even, vice versa, they are going to have major network upgrades. And I'm not talking about things like the Lightning Network or Ethereum 2.0. We need to see some sort of major upgrade within the scalability factor, but also in the efficiency standard. So, without that, it's just not going to succeed and stay in the top 2 forever. Now, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about a few, use cases on Hedera, and then we're going to jump right into exactly what I wanted to talk about since the beginning of this video. So first off, Infinite powered by Suku. So I talked to you guys about this in the past. We've addressed this, but we are seeing the statistics ramping up now. 200 plus NFTs issued, 600 plus end users, and 99% saving transaction fees compared to Ethereum. Now, When we're talking about Suku, Suku is actually very interesting, or I should say Infinite by Suku is very interesting. We do see Suku is the link between open finance, traceability, and transparency through their trio of product offerings. Suku, Omni, Infinite, and DeFi. They connect companies with conscious consumers and enable supply chain finance. Now, the best part about this is that I do have Omni open on the right side here. We're going to be talking about that as well. But Infinite has fully updated their entire website. So we do see here, download the Infinite app, tag, scan, and curate. This is very interesting and this is very cool. I think that Android has not dropped yet, but I do think that iOS has already dropped. But there's a lot of things within this as well. Like, there's Infinite for business. Like, if you are a retailer, you could actually have this in your store. It's actually very cool. Also, we do know that they have their NFT Marketplace. This is sorry, let me actually go to the NFT Marketplace. So here we have it. Now, I've showed you guys this in the past, but I do think that this is where we will see a lot of transactional volume showing up for, of course, Hbar in terms of the NFT space. I think that Infinite is very interesting as a use case, but also I think it's very cool to give back to those consumers and those individuals that are looking for, something more than just a JPEG image, if you will. And I'm not talking just about, animated, images or anything like that, but I'm actually talking about actual things, like, for an example, shoes and stuff like this that will be an NFT at some point in time. Like, even Nike themselves have stated at some point in time that they want to do something similar to this in an NFT sort of way. And I think that they actually are already doing this now. Not too sure on that. I'm not too educated on the idea on what Nike's actually doing within the NFT scene, but I do know that they mentioned having some sort of digital connection to physical items. And I actually even see this with, like, the movie theater. I went to see Spider-Man back in December, and the movie theater actually sent me an NFT in my email. So that's very interesting, and that's very cool, and it allows to connect consumers, retail consumers, to, of course, NFTs, and have that digital collectible, if you will. Also, Suku Omni. So Omni allows brands to leverage GS1 standards and the public Hedera network to tell their product story and to securely verify products' authenticity throughout a supply chain. Now, this actually has already 110,000 plus products tracked using Omni by Suku, 18 brands using Omni by Suku, and $390,000 in savings in 2021 migrating from Ethereum. So again, this was an Ethereum use case, and they did move over to Hedera. Omni is actually very cool as well. Up your game with uncontested truth, share a verified story of your brand, values, and products. And this actually has some pretty big names behind it already, but I think that this is such a major use case, especially if we are talking about everything from track and trace. Again, when we're talking about supply chain data and things like that, it is something that is needed currently in this world. But I'm actually very excited for a lot of this stuff to be utilized properly. Like, it is being utilized, but there's just not too much scale there yet. But I do think that we will see the scalability factor continue to be built out. And of course, you guys can check out more of their solutions. Like, they have Suku DeFi. Of course, we just went over Infinite World, and then this is Omni. But when we are talking about Web 3.0, and we're talking about some major use cases within this area, I definitely think that Infinite is something very, very cool. I think that from a company standard, I think Infinite is very interesting. So with all of this happening, I think that this is something to really kind of watch for. Suku's doing incredible things, and Suku's absolutely killing the game. So, shout out to them, and definitely look into some of these use cases, because these are use cases that I've talked to you guys about in the past, but they are definitely growing in numbers. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about the cross-border payment scene. Now, this is a $156 trillion market. We've addressed this. We've talked about this in the past, but this is where the big connections come back to, of course, Hedera. So, first and foremost, we do see here entities involved, iobuilders. Now, I found this connection when I was talking to you guys about a quant video. This is coming from LACnet, aka LAC Chain. We do see some entities involved here, IDB, Citibank, iobuilders in general, right? Now, of course, Quant is actually built within this, or I should say they have a hand in this that are kind of building out their interoperability bridge with this. But iobuilders is significant because iobuilders is blockchain solutions for business and finance, enterprise-grade blockchain business solutions. You can pretty much read all about them, if you will. I'm not going to go into too much depth here, but I want you to all understand that they have some pretty big clients here. Of course, LAC Chain is one of them, Quorum, things like that. But here are their partners. So, Of course, their partners are Hedera Hashgraph, Quorum. You could read some more about these, but these are Enterprise Ethereum Alliance as well. LAC Chain. Again, LAC Chain is the big connection that I found, of course, with all of this. You could see about what they do and all that stuff. I'm not going to read too much into this. Like I said, I'm not going to waste your guys' time on a lot of this stuff. More so, I want to show you guys some of their services and solutions. But also, we do see here, we empower next-gen businesses with enterprise-grade blockchain solutions. And here are some of their clients. So, some of their clients are pretty big. Like, for an example, even like Consensus and stuff. They have some strategic partnerships, which again, Hedera is definitely one of them. You can really kind of read about why they chose Hedera as well. You can read about everything within Hedera and pretty much why they chose it. Here are some of their focus areas: capital markets, fintech, marketplaces, and others, industrial and corporations. So again, when we're talking about this is going to be focused on some big players. This is going to be a big leader within a lot of this, area that we talk about in terms of like cross-border payments as well. Also, by the way, Interwork Alliance. Interwork Alliance has direct connections to major assets that I do hold. I've always talked to you guys a little bit about Interwork Alliance. They're fairly large in terms of a named company. But I do want to talk to you guys about iobuilders and where they come into play here. So let's actually jump over to this white paper and let's talk about this. So here we have this nice annual report. It's basically a white paper, if you will, but this is coming from GBBC 2021 annual report, coming together, forging collaborations in an era of profound change. Now, first off, I would say the first time that Hedera actually gets mentioned in this article, we could actually go up to it. It's going to take a little bit of time to load. But the first time that we see Hedera being mentioned, it's under Voluntary Ecological Markets Overview. The standards and architecture developed by the VEM Task Force are adopted by Hedera, Microsoft, Zange, and others. Now, first off, I want you to all understand that this is a direct connection to also Microsoft yet again. I mean, honestly, when is Microsoft going to announce that they are a GC member? But we do see here, looking ahead to 2022, IWA will focus on driving tokenization standards for member-led use cases focused on sustainability and debt issuance, building the next version of our open source token taxonomy framework to enable broader implementation of, the IWA standards and frameworks. Now, again, second mention of Hedera is from the video from yesterday. Now, this is where I talked to you guys a little bit about Hedera and their role with this. This is, of course, debentures, platform, CBDC as collateral, and stablecoin usage. This is all talking about stablecoins, CBDCs, and things like that. Now, this is, of course, tokenizing money, right? The funny thing about this is that when we look into this, we actually see here the solution is currently focused on the following objectives: definition of the functional requirements of a commercial to central bank tokenization process to enable retail/wholesale debenture investments to be implemented cross-chain and CBDC based. Definition and implementation of the integration with the central bank to manage the collateral of the stablecoin. Design of both the functional and technical architecture of the solution to be provided, including the integration with the Hedera consensus service, the token standards, and the APIs for the different interfaces. Development and implementation of the solution based on Hedera Consensus Service and Hedera Token Service, including the testing and the technical deployment of the platform. The final goal for this project is to fully understand the insights gained on several policy and regulatory challenges introduced by such innovation, along with promoting responsible innovation and providing regulatory clarity on financial technology innovation. I want you to all understand that this is focused on some big areas. This is going to be utilizing Hedera Consensus Service and also Hedera Token Service. And this is all to test, of course, digital money. We also see, transforming working capital through digitization and connected data. All of this goes hand in hand with digitization and tokenization of course, traditional systems. We even see here, digitizing and automating working capital with blockchain. Again, this is kind of out of reach with Hedera, but do I think that Hedera could focus on this area too? Yeah, 100%. But do I think that they're going to move in? It's hard to say. And of course, this is where it starts talking about other companies. So let me go on to the next mentions. And this is the, pretty much the last mention, the good mention of, if you will, of Hedera. And it is collaborating on 21st century solutions. This is talking about Dovu. partially owned by Jaguar Land Rover, is a tokenized data economy for DeFi carbon offsetting. And then this kind of goes on to mention more so about how public DLTs have the potential to eliminate these major challenges that, of course, Dovu ran into through tokenization and the hashing of details of a carbon offsetting project. However, most DLTs fail to meet requirements due to the lack of scalable performance, prohibitive fees, and or unstable governance structures. And of course, this is why they chose Hedera. And this is all talking about tokenization. I want you to all understand that when we're talking about this all goes hand in hand with everything that I've been talking to you guys about since day one. Focus on the real money makers in these markets. I know that Hedera's price action sucks. I will be the one to, even mention that, and I will accept that. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, Hedera's, price action is incredible. I'm sitting here and I'm living, rich. I have my Lambo outside. No, absolutely not. Hedera's price action is garbage. I will be the first to admit that. But the thing is that you can't be focusing on the price action and comparing it to other projects. Like, for example, I see a lot of people in this space say, hey, why is Hedera sitting at this price while Solana's at this price? Don't worry about the price action if you know the potential behind these projects. You need to understand that you need to do research before you invest, because that gives you a solid state of mind when you do see the price sitting at 20 cents for a very long time. I mean, honestly, even if we're going back 1 year to, basically February of 2021 to now, we have seen some incredible gains since, then. Of course, I know that this was sitting at about 11.5 cents, but I'm talking about incredible gains to about 50 cents. It's almost like a 5x from there. Now, I'm not saying that that's great returns or anything like that. I mean, is it incredible in that short, term span of time? Yeah, I mean, this is basically roughly 7 months. So in 7 months, you 5 times your money almost. That's pretty good. But it's not great comparing it to other assets. That's the thing. Like, yeah, sure, is this a great, return, from the, 11th centile range to basically the all-time high? Yeah, sure. If you compare it to Solana, though, it's almost laughable. But that is also why I do hold Hedera, and that's exactly why I haven't sold any of my Hbar, because I know that this asset, once people realize the potential behind it, and a lot of these use cases have not gone live yet. Like, for example, that 5,000 transactions per second project that we talked about, yeah, that goes live this week coming up. So a lot of these things are still being built. They're not live fully. But when they do go live, that's when the real price action begins. That's when you do see dollar signs, going across the board, and that's when you do see a lot of individuals going absolutely crazy. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.